few things that you might or might not know. This is access to information for a variety of students. So we're not just talking learning disability students who can't read or have difficulties decoding text, comprehending, retention, expression, and so on. These are varieties. So you go into the Settings app, and this is where these devices are truly examples of universally designed devices. So I go into General, I tap on Accessibility, and if you can see it up there, we have VoiceOver. VoiceOver allows people who are blind to access information. Who knew that? People who are blind have access to any information, any apps, etc., on the iPad by using VoiceOver. So who's worked with students who are blind before? Adults who are blind? Anybody? Yeah? So this is like screen reading software on a stationary computer at the side of the room accessing information. They can do that right at their desk now. And if you don't believe me, what you can do is go to YouTube. I know everybody knows what YouTube is. And do a search for individuals who are blind using iPads. And there's this young guy there. He's posted a self-made movie on using VoiceOver with the iPad, and he's totally blind. His name is Shane, and it'll blow you away. What it does is, do you want to see it? Yeah, I find it very tricky. You have to read the directions. This is in iOS 7, but they have had VoiceOver since they introduced the iPod Touches and iPhones. So if I turn it on, tap once to select an item, double tap to activate the item, and swipe 3 fingers to scroll. So you have to follow the directions. Someone who's blind is going to have a really organized screen, not have 3,000 apps on their device, and they're going to probably be doing very specific things on their iPad. And so this is what it does. I hope I can.
VoiceOver on. Landscape.
So
Home button to the right.
I'm going to hit the home button.
Access.
And you see it's going to read. It's opened that. If I want to go into iBooks, I tap it once.
Tap to open.
And so it's reading everything on the screen.
Store button.
Okay. So now my job is to get back and turn it off.
Settings. VoiceOver.
I tap once, double tap.
VoiceOver on.
I did it. I always get stuck in that loop there. But so everything on your device. I can read books by tapping through. And again, it makes your iPad into a screen reader. We do not use it. I don't recommend it for students with LD because we have other settings on the iPad that allow you to select the text and have it read aloud.
What does Braille?
Yeah, so your iPads can also hook up to Braille printers. And so it goes way beyond just doing screen reading, okay? And you hook up those printers through Bluetooth. So there are lots of other options there. You've got language and dialects, phonetic feedback, many, many settings that allow you to really individualize it for the user. Okay, so I can also change the rate of speech feedback, which I'll show you a little later as well. So Zoom is another accessibility feature that you do need to read the directions. And if you've got a device out, take a look at this. But make sure you read the directions because you can get stuck and then you have to just think carefully about how to get out of it. So double tap 3 fingers to zoom and drag the 3 fingers to move around your screen. Remember, you got adult users. You've got older users who might have visual impairments. They need magnification in every single level of your iPad, not just zooming out on in your book or on the internet. Okay, so I've got zoom on, so I'm going to tap that. Notice how it doesn't transfer as quite well, but So I can go up really high. Oh, it's not transferring, but because of the LCD. But if you want to look, you can see how high I can actually magnify my screen. And then you just have to remember how to magnify or navigate once you're in there. You and I are probably really good at this level. You just double tap with 3 fingers to get back to normal. But that will transfer over to any single app that you're using, and once you've launched. So Zoom applies to every app that you're running. I can invert colors, so this one again doesn't transfer usually through the LCD, but black on white on black. And believe it or not, some students with LD love that feature. It just, whether it's novel or not, I'm not sure. The next one, speak selection, is the most exciting one that came into play on the Apple mobile devices with iOS 5, and that's speak selection. So how many of you guys work with students who have learning difficulties decoding text? So they might have dyslexia, auditory processing. Okay, so you might want to, instead of this, provide them alternate access to the text, right? So they're not, you're not handing this out to them and saying, let's decode. You're providing them a compensatory strategy so they can access the information. Really, that's what it's about, accessing the information. And speak selection, once that's turned on, allows you to do this. Who knows Kurzweil? Kurzweil, okay? So there's lots of other ones as well. Kurzweil was our premier text-to-speech. You scan a document on the computer with an OCR scanner, converts it to text, and you have it read aloud to the student. Hugely expensive, again, on the computer. This is essentially Kurzweil to go, text-to-speech to go, and is free on your mobile devices. So I can change the rate of speech feedback.
Speak selection reads selected content.
I can individualize.
Speak selection reads selected content.
You and I
Speak selection reads selected content.
You and I process auditory information at about 150 words per minute, but some people, especially students with learning difficulties, might need it slower, some might need it faster. So again, you can individualize with these devices. And you can also highlight words as it reads aloud. So if you have a device, turn that on, and I'll just demonstrate to you. This is just a search online in my Safari app for elephants. Just any search will do. While I'm showing you this, though, Wikipedia, some people don't really encourage use of it, but in my mind it's pretty good. So on the left sidebar, this is a lot of information, right? A lot of our learners, too much. I can tweak out and pinch out and make it larger. But on the languages on the left sidebar in Wikipedia, I can actually go down and select Simple English. And let me do that again. This did this to me last night too. And what it does is reduce the amount of text on that page, so it's more accessible. So think about that. If I had
do that on an iPad?
iPad, computer, that's on Wikipedia. Simple English. It doesn't have it available for every single posting, and there are also, but just take a look if you need to reduce. So that means that once that text is digitized, if this was that document on elephants, I wouldn't be able to do that. Why not? Let's pretend this is the document, the original document on elephants. Why couldn't I change that instantly in hard copy? Come on, anyway.
By the time you do it, like, you'd have to redo the whole.
Oh yeah, you'd have to scan it, you'd have to go through, probably rephrase everything and type it out. It's just, really, it's not going to happen. Once you digitize text, it allows you to manipulate that text and make it accessible to all. So that was the simple English example in Wikipedia, but also I'm demonstrating speak selection. So on the iPad with that turned on in accessibility options, I can tap on it, hold it down really lightly, select the text, and
Elephants are the largest living land mammals.
and now
One.
it's accessible to those students who have difficulty decoding. Right at your desk, on your iPhone, on your iPad mini. The other very cool thing that I love about these devices, actually I'll show this when I'm in the iBook textbooks. This is where textbooks are going too, is digitized enhanced textbooks that offer so much more engagement and learning. So I can select any amount and have it read aloud. I can have it read aloud as many times as I need it to, and it allows me access. And that's because I set turn speech selection on in the accessibility options. Okay? And in every iPad we hand out in our school system, that's turned on, every single one. So it can benefit lots of different students. Tyler, cerebral palsy. He needs the text. He can read. He's an awesome reader, but he constantly moves around in his chair. So think of that visual access to that information isn't great, and he likes to keep up with his classmates. So we have him on the text-to-speech in different apps, not necessarily speak selection, but he does use text-to-speech so he can keep up. So I can assign larger text to onboard apps easily. If I have a visual impairment, kids with LD like to type in larger text. So those are in Mail, you're using your Notes app, etc. It'll automatically, it's called dynamic type, be transferred to a larger text. If you're typing into Mail and it's larger, it won't send it out to you on your iPhone in a huge text. It'll transfer regularly. Okay, so think about that. I can increase contrast. Reduce motion means just that in the new iOS 7, they added some bounce features to some animation features to opening apps, closing apps, but it's not a good feature for some students with visual impairments or learning disabilities. So this is where you would turn it off in accessibility options.
And which one would that be?
That's the reduced motion.
Oh, okay.
Hearing aids, I can connect through Bluetooth with a number of hearing aids. If you're a Bluetooth-enabled hearing aid, which many of them are now, I can connect it directly to my iPad and provide access. This is where I would turn on closed captioning for ESL students and students with LD perhaps, also students with hearing impairments who really benefit from that and enhance access to the movies that might be shown. You probably don't know about this. We use this sometimes with adult learners depending upon the task. And this might be, that's very beneficial for really young kids, guided access. Who knows about this? Who has young kids using your iPhone? Okay, so sometimes you put them in an app or in a testing situation and you don't want them in another app, you would employ guided access to restrict them to one app, okay? So guided access, I'm just going to turn that on. I'm going to set the passcode as the secondary user. You're not showing it to the main user. I'm going to tap the home button and let's just go out. I'll just choose a simple, let's see, what? These are our favorite kid apps for little guys. So you launch the app, but remember this could be any app. It could be Safari. You want to lock them into one app.
Welcome to More Trucks.
Okay.
Choose a truck.
So see how versatile these devices are? I've gone from reading the web with accessibility options set to being able to entertain my young child at the restaurant. Okay, so what I want to do is have this student just moving forward. So I have accessibility options set. I'm going to triple click on the home button. Can you see? Assign guided access. And hold on, I'll turn that down just because it's annoying. So I just want them moving forward. I don't want them hitting a home button and going back to the beginning. So with this feature, guided access, I can choose the part, just with my finger, part of the activity that allows a student to choose another option within the app. And
Are you blocking it when you do that?
you're actually making it deactivated to touch. Okay? And then I hit start, and all I can do now is move forward. See that touch up there? And so I'm moving forward. This is a really fun app for adults too. You collect the stars. Anyway, the point is some kids, if it's a math activity or whatever, or young adult or adult, they might want to hit the home button, go check their mail, right? Well, you want them moving forward. So if they hit the home button, what happens is it says guided access is enabled, and you actually have to triple click to get out of this app. So if I triple click, what happens is the passcode comes up. If you've shown them the passcode, that's your problem. But if you're the teacher, then what you're going to do is put in the passcode and end guided access. Very, very valuable. With my mom, who's 95 years old, she needed the enlarged text in books. And, but I was really hesitant to get her an iPad. And when the iPad mini came out, she's like this tall, teeny tiny. And I'm not a technology user. So when the iPad mini came out with iBooks, it was a great opportunity to give her enlarged text. But I was really concerned about her getting out of the one app and into wherever. She doesn't have wireless in her house, so that's okay. I set her up initially in guided access, locked her into iBooks, into one specific book. She didn't understand the whole touching thing, and just gently introduced her to iBooks with guided access. She couldn't get out, and now she doesn't need it anymore because she's used to the process. Like 3, 4, 6 months later, she's pretty independent, and but she needed to start with guided access. So locked into one app. Yeah, I got a lot of phone calls still, but it's a great feature to apply in many different ways.